What if Iran ruled the world? A world with no Hollywood, no UN in New York, no US dollar, no Western global order. Instead, imagine a planet where the most powerful empire isn't the United States, China, or the European Union, but Iran, an ancient civilization reborn, now the central ruler of Earth. How would society look? What would you wear? What would be legal or forbidden? This is What If 2.0. Today we ask, what if Iran ruled the world? 1. The rise of the Persian superpower. In this alternate timeline, a chain reaction of collapses shatters the existing global order. It begins in 2028 with a massive cyber war that cripples the financial and defense infrastructure of the United States. Panic, economic freefall, and civil unrest follow. Meanwhile, China, overextended in its Belt and Road Initiative, collapses under the weight of internal rebellions and ethnic unrest. Europe fractures in the face of simultaneous migration waves, fuel shortages, and political extremism. The European Union becomes a memory. Into this power vacuum steps Iran, now fully nuclear, technologically advanced, and politically unified. Under the banner of unity through faith, Iran stabilizes the Middle East, absorbs Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon into a greater Persian Federation, and forges powerful alliances with Pakistan, Turkey, and parts of North Africa. By 2035, the world's new capital is Tehran, not Washington. A new era has begun. 2. The global theocracy. Iran doesn't just conquer with armies. It conquers with belief. The world's new governing system is a theocratic technocracy. At its heart, the Global Council of Ayatollahs, a body of senior Shura clerics, working in tandem with superintelligent AI known as jurisbots. These AI are trained not on secular law, but on centuries of Islamic jurisprudence, providing rapid, deeply contextual decisions on global matters. Constitutional frameworks across nations are rewritten. Secularism vanishes from public life. Religion is no longer a personal matter. It's now embedded into every legal, financial, and cultural structure. Daily life becomes ritualized. Spirituality, once optional, is now obligatory. 3. The end of Western liberalism. The liberal world order dissolves. Elections still happen, but they're framed within Islamic values. Candidates must be vetted for piety, not just policy. Rights, once universal, are now conditional. LGBTQ plus identities, outlawed. Alcohol, banned. Pornography, a criminal offense. Gambling and nightlife, gone. Pop culture undergoes a transformation. Hollywood is erased from existence, replaced by Tehranwood, a state-run film industry that tells tales of sacrifice, honor, family, and moral triumph. Music is still allowed, but lyrics must be spiritually uplifting. The days of viral TikTok dances and mumble rap are history. Freedom of speech? Still permitted, but only within moral boundaries. You can speak your mind, as long as it aligns with the approved global moral framework. 4. A new economic order. Capitalism, as we knew it, becomes obsolete. The House of Halal Finance, based in Qom, replaces the World Bank and the IMF. Global finance is now Islamic finance. Interest-based lending is banned. Banks operate on profit and loss sharing, ethical investing, and zakat-based redistribution. Speculation is forbidden. Social equity becomes a financial principle. The US dollar collapses, and with it, the petrodollar system. In its place rises dinar coin, a global gold and energy-backed cryptocurrency, managed by Iran's Central Economic Consortium. Oil still flows, but it's not alone. Iran launches Solar Crescent, a megagrid project connecting North Africa, the Middle East, and Central Asia, supplying most of the world's clean energy. Trade flourishes, but it's faith-aligned, ethics-regulated, and heavily monitored. 5. Military and policing the world. With NATO gone, the new military alliance is the Guardians of Unity, a coalition led by Iran with bases in every continent. Their presence is more surveillance than boots on ground. AI-powered drones patrol the skies. Satellite grids enforce no-fly zones. Quantum codebreakers monitor global data streams for signs of rebellion. There is no police in the traditional sense. Instead, AI ethics monitors, coupled with biometric scanners and behavior analysis, enforce social norms in public. Justice is swift and public. Punishments blend corporal discipline with psychological correction via virtual reality simulations. Non-compliance doesn't go unnoticed, it gets digitally documented. 6. Women in the New World. Women's lives shift dramatically under Iran's global rule. Modesty is enforced as a universal principle. Hijab becomes mandatory in public spaces. Fashion transforms, flowing garments, covered hair, muted colors. Workplaces and schools are gender segregated. Yet, education remains accessible. Women become leading figures in medicine, engineering, astronomy, and AI research. 7. Religion, education, and daily life. A spiritual awakening sweeps the world, but not all are willing participants. Arabic and Farsi become mandatory languages in education. English fades. French, German, and Spanish survive, but only as regional dialects. Curricula shift from secular science to Islamic ethics, theology, and Persian history. Newton and Darwin share pages with Al-Ghazali and Avicenna. Daily prayers, once private, are now a synchronized global event. A soft chime rings across cities 5 times a day, reminding billions to pause. Mecca is now the spiritual heart of Earth. Pilgrimage becomes a right of global citizenship. Every human must undertake it once, funded by the state if necessary. Churches still stand. So do synagogues, temples, and shrines. But all are subject to regulation. Preachers are licensed. Sermons monitored. No religion is outlawed, but all must submit to the supremacy of Islamic law. 8. Technology and innovation. Despite its religious backbone, this empire isn't primitive. Iran becomes a tech leader, pioneering quantum computing, fusion energy, nanomedicine, and genetically guided agriculture. The global internet becomes the Ethernet, a halal, censorship-controlled network. It's not just a firewall, it's a values filter. There's no YouTube, no TikTok, no Netflix. Instead, the Ethernet offers curated learning, spiritual reflection, and entertainment aligned with ethical principles. AI companions assist in prayer, teach Quranic interpretation, and guide users toward moral decisions. The digital world is no longer a Wild West. It's a sacred space. 9. Global resistance and underground movements. But not everyone obeys. From the shadows of abandoned data centers and ancient cryptography, resistance is born. The Free Tomorrow Network, a decentralized collective of activists, hackers, artists, and exiles, works to preserve lost culture, restore digital freedoms, and subvert AI surveillance. They smuggle music tracks from the 2000s, leak banned books, and hold underground VR concerts where Beyoncé and Beethoven still perform. Protests erupt weekly in cities like Toronto, Paris, Tokyo, and Sao Paulo. Iran responds with blackouts, sanctions, and disconnection zones. But dissent grows, not with guns, but with memes, stories, and whispers. 10. A second renaissance? Paradoxically, amid Iran's rigid control, a new wave of creativity is born, one not rooted in rebellion, but in rediscovery. The world, exhausted by consumerism and fractured by chaos, begins to embrace structure, spirituality, and the sublime. Persian poetry makes a global comeback, not just as literature, but as a design philosophy. Every metro station carries verses of Hafez. Every AI assistant greets with a line of Rumi. Students from Buenos Aires to Kuala Lumpur study Islamic mysticism alongside mathematics. Artists blend traditional Islamic geometry with digital code, creating kinetic art that breathes and recites. VR museums preserve global spiritual relics, not just Islamic, but Buddhist, Christian, African, and indigenous. Architecture shifts away from steel and glass towers toward domes, gardens, and human-scale sanctuaries that mirror the mosque's contemplative space. Even philosophy takes a new turn. Thinkers no longer debate freedom as an abstract ideal, but as a balance between discipline and meaning. Questions once considered outdated about God, morality, the afterlife return to center stage. But a quiet unease remains. Did the world find peace? Or just submission? Did we enter a golden age? Or did we lose something we'll never fully recover? Only time will tell. Conclusion: if Iran ruled the world, it wouldn't be war that reshaped humanity. It would be values, ideas, belief systems encoded into every law, every app, every school lesson. We'd dress differently. We'd think in new languages. We'd worship in unison, not by choice, but by design. God would no longer be a personal journey. He'd be written into law. Would that make us better people? More moral? More united? Or would it remind us that even the most sacred empires fall? This is What If 2.0. Not just what if, but what's next. Subscribe to explore more futures, from the divine to the dystopian.